you doing? Looking shit up?
My Wikipedia page is down right now.
Hey, yo.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, if you've been under a rock or smoking rock, you now tuned into the Personal Party Podcast. I'm going to take it easy on you today.
He kind of looks like Den 10.
Oh, no.
He kind of looks like Den 10.
No. Shipes.
A skinnier Den 10. Yeah, I'm here. Personal Podcast is in full effect. You heard? I might have to take a shit. I just ate a big meal.
Yo. Stop laughing now.
That was a name I ain't hear in a long time.
Bubsy said get him, I'ma get him.
Oh my God.
You see, so that's why I said I was gonna take it easy on you because
if I
do, he's not gonna do it.
Hit me just randomly.
He just thought about it.
You don't really look like him, but you kind of do. If you told me you were his cousin, I wouldn't be surprised. We should flash Den 10's picture.
Nah, that's too much promo. But
Word.
You already gave enough.
Can you guys hear me, or do I need to move up?
Nah, you good.
All right, good.
I got already starting. Like I said, I wasn't gonna go hard on you because I know whatever me and him we have this thing. Like if I start my shit, it's gonna follow up.
Oh yeah,
it's not gonna end. So I gotta, I'm not gonna do that to you today.
Is that what you guys normally do on?
Yeah,
I've watched a few of them, but I don't know if it's everyone.
I destroy him a lot because he says a lot. Yeah, I destroy.
No, you don't destroy.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll let the people say. I check him a lot because he says a lot of things that's stupid, like dumb shit. But then he also has a lot of smart things and research out of nowhere. He's like an idiot savant in the most respectful way.
We've had that in our camp for a long time.
Exactly.
I'm also gonna do some shameless promo.
Go ahead.
Smokers Club Critters just dropped. Shout out to Bubsy.
So did Donuts.
So did the Donuts.
So did Job Stopper.
And the Job Stopper.
Yeah.
With the little Smokers S. All right, my bad.
Oh.
What, you was begging for weed again?
I was.
Have some integrity. All right, now today I have.
That shit look fire. Can I smell it?
Nah, B.
Oh man. Thank you, Shipes.
This nigga's so excited.
We got Johnny Shipes here. We not doing that. This is not normal. So let's hype the fuck up. It's not normal.
But I was getting into that, and you was on your NO shit again. You cut me off.
You already did it. See, you already did it.
On your shit, and I was about to get into that. Like, I'm not even gonna say my favorite because everybody knows that. I have one of the best moguls, music executives.
I'm not a music exec. I'm a music entrepreneur.
Ooh.
I'm not a music exec. You feel me?
In the motherfucking world, he's discovered some of your favorite fucking rappers of all time, including myself.
Word.
I like to call him a gold minder because he sees it in us before we see it or before the world sees it.
100%.
We have my motherfucking brother, my best friend, Jonny motherfucking Shipes.
Love you, Dizza.
Love you,
Broadway. I'm just getting to know you.
Nah, he doing it so I can hear it in the phones. He's getting the proper treatment right now.
I'm calm.
Right?
Yeah, let me know if at any time you can't hear me in the mic.
Nah, you good. The levels is all good. So now, go ahead.
Has he always been fucking stingy with weed, Shipes?
Not even just stingy with weed. If you leave, there's people that you'll leave shit around and it goes disappearing and you hate them for it and you don't fuck with them. He's one of the few people that you just know if you leave the shit around, it's gonna go missing. It goes in the Dizza vacuum, that black hole that never comes out. You just gotta take it for what it's worth. So I won't even say stingy because he'll share with me. He won't give me the booth pack. I don't know if you know about Dizza. He carries 2 packs with him.
I'm with you.
The booth and the good shit. And
he gives away the booth.
And he will smoke booth with people because he's really like that. So as long as
you giving away my secrets.
Ain't no secret.
This is the show. This is what you asked me.
This is not a secret.
As much as you're gonna ask me, that people probably don't know to ask. I'm gonna tell a lot.
Thank you. No. I'm bothered.
I got all day. I got all night. But no. This is not stingy with the weed. It's a black hole of weed. If you leave weed around, it could go missing. And, his nonchalant way will just be like, did you take the weed? I don't know. And then you just got to toss it up because You know, it's not that big a deal. Weed is meant to be smoked and shared with your people, so it is what it is.
So who I am to you, you are to him, in a way.
Yeah, he treats me.
So
he don't treat me like how I treat you, right?
That's the.
But sometimes, no, he never tell me no for weed because he knows. You know what I mean?
I don't care. Weed,
he don't care.
Everybody can smoke my weed.
I smoked your weed.
But the thing is, I don't do to him what you do to me, like nag him for the weed. I don't do that.
No,
he knows if he leaves
skillful. This is skillful with his weed. Taking of the weed.
You don't understand the science.
It's finesse. It's a science to it.
You don't understand the science. You don't even try to talk to me about other shit and then casually throw that in. Right?
Casually
like science.
Reach your hand in the bag.
Yeah, like yo.
I'm a straight to the point kind of guy.
Yeah, but you do it in a way that's, how can I say it, annoying. You do it like, yo, like fiendish.
Stop using
that's
those
what
words
you do
to me, man.
I mean, hey, what do you want from me? If you bark, what am I gonna call you, a cat? You a dog. So if you begging me for weed, I'm gonna be like,
I call you Smoke Dizzle when you act like this. Smoke Dizzle. We have a very important man. The man has been responsible for a lot of careers that I respect. I have a lot of respect for this guy.
Thanks, man.
No, seriously. He knows that. But listen, we have an important dude here, and I want to.
Yeah, there's no time for real bickering, right?
Yes. We're gonna get the knowledge out. We got time for that. Oh, it's always time for the bullshit. I'm with the shit.
You're on the bullshit. Okay.
Yes, I'm with the shit. That's what the people want. You know that. You know that. You know what I'm saying? We vibing. Energy.
Now, see, for me, I could handle this interview a little different than anybody else that would interview my brother because I know I was there from the very beginning.
Day one.
From day one, before building the bricks of the building with my brother, and I would follow him to the end of the earth. Like you say, yeah, I'll follow you to the end of the earth. Same way.
I will.
Same way. So it might seem weird because I'm asking you questions that I know already. But it's for guys like him that don't know shit.
I know. Stop saying
No, it's certain things that you might not know.
Oh, but
so this is why I'm saying, respectfully. So,
I want to just say one thing before we start because I got on him. I just wanted to say that your sweatsuit is not matching. The grays are off.
It's a company. I own the company.
I hear you, but it's just I just
want
to
I got this on too.
No, you match.
You all got Smokers Club on.
But what he's saying is I don't match.
It's two different tones of gray. It looks a little weird. That's okay. No, but I was just calling.
I mean, I can get away with it though because you know what I mean. It goes my
it's like Michael Jackson gray and dirty
good with the hat. And if I didn't call it out, no one would have noticed.
It's have the gray.
Gray and dirty.
We get into it. My bad.
That wasn't that funny, show. Anyway, what was your first interaction in the music business?
Ever? Like real music business or just
no?
Me?
Like at the beginning
when I just had a dream and nothing.
First had a dream and nothing.
Was trying to build a studio DJ rig in my mom's basement, and I didn't realize that I was building it right under her bedroom. Mm-hmm. So I would be down there thinking I was like in the basement, and she couldn't hear me, and it was pounding beats and DJ equipment scratches right above her room, and that lasted about one night. And then she was like, "Get this shit the fuck out of here! What are you doing?" And I had built, and listen, everything I'm gonna say on this show, I need to preface because my stories don't sound real, but they're all real. There's no gas on them. It's just how my life is. I had already built like the frame for the studio. Like, imagine a big basement and then you could just put studs up and start building in your room. And she came down there and I had already built the frame studs over the last 2 days. And she was furious. She was like, "What the fuck are you doing? I can hear every sound upstairs." That was my first foray. My mom told me I wouldn't be shit, especially in the music industry. Yep, Mom Dukes. And from there I just kept pushing. That was my very first.
And where was this at?
This was in the Hamptons. This is when I was 16.
That was perfect for what I was about to say. The first time I ever been to the Hamptons was with Johnny Shipes. Like, coming from Harlem, we always heard about the Hamptons because we heard about the all-white puff parties. But we never knew where the Hamptons was.
I know.
And taking that ride, right, like, it's kind of like a hidden island. To me, that's how I looked at it because it was just some shit that I'd never seen at the time, and you was the man in the fucking Hamptons.
I was for a little bit.
Even when I say the man, like I wasn't. He had me in the club when I was 18, 19 years old, in the Star Room at that in the Hamptons, doing impromptu shows and shit. He just always had me around doing shit. But it was a time where you was interning. Who did you intern for?
Puff. But that came from being in the Hamptons, right time, right place. So I wanted to do music since I was a kid. Since I first heard the Ghetto Boys, Beastie Boys, Run DMC when I was like 6 at this sports camp I went to, and I fell in love with music. And from there I just wanted to do music, but I never had any ins. And I was in the Hamptons. This was like, I moved to the Hamptons from New York City at 16. So I was a junior in high school, and I like started to get to know everybody out there. Was fucking with everyone, playing ball on the team. Was cool with all the coaches and shit. And during the weekends we would go play ball at the park out there.
Got you.
And one weekend, Puff and his whole like squad, I want to say it was even Rockefeller was out there too. They all just came to the park to play. Hip Hop was out there, Puff. I don't know if Jay was out there, but a lot of people were out there, and we were just like, what the fuck? So I made friends with some of his circle, and we would just like talk on the weekends when they would come out. They would want to get into an actual basketball court, so I would go get them to high school. We would play ball indoors, and it started with me just kind of being the plug for them to play ball. And then Puff did his Bad Boy Retreat in the Hamptons in the summer of 1999. And he came out there with 2 busloads worth of people, like 100 staff people, and they didn't get any of the permits. So they showed up at the park, the city shut them down, and they were gonna have to turn around. And Jameel Spencer, shout out to him, he hit me and was like, yo, Shipes, can you help us find a spot to do this Bad Boy Retreat at? And my homie had a horse farm, big ass horse farm.
Wow.
And he didn't need a permit, he could do whatever he wanted on it. So I called up Nick Krause, I said, yo, Nick, can we use your mom's crib to do the Bad Boy Retreat? And he was like, sure. We did it. They were doing like potato races and all types of shit, all horse shit around. I think it was a very dirty ass weekend, but it worked for them. You know what I'm saying? Because it saved the day. And then after that, Jameel hit me. He was like, yo, I want you to come fuck with me at Blue Flame, which was Puff's marketing agency at the time. And I got a job there. I was the first employee hired by Jameel, and then I was just interning, kind of going to the studios at night, learning the A&R game, watching them make music, and that's how my whole career got started. Just being in the mix, luckily. Timing, you know what I mean? Persistence, and then like a little bit of luck. And then you sprinkle it all together, and you got to know what to do with it, you know?
Right.
It's crazy.
That's the gym. No, that's real. That's,
you feel me? Because
I'm quiet right now.
No, it's cool. I want to build this thing up because you know it's a lot of points in this story that I feel like people don't know. So I want to shed light on this. So when I feel like I think I was battling on 42nd Street and I ran into Ferris Bueller. I forgot how I was going down.
Shout out Ferris.
And you were fucking doing this battle named Slam for the Streets. You was doing the music for it. And Slam from the Streets was basically Slam Magazine, the Street Ball series, merged with the rap shit. Battles, mixtape battle rappers with mixtape basketball players. And it was a battle. And the end of the battle was me and Immortal Technique. Right? And I ended up...
You were like 16, right?
I was like 17. And, I lost the battle. Because I feel like, y'all already wanted Tech to win. Y'all already had the winner. That, and I was thirsty for that. I was thirsty for that two-way. But bust it. I lost the battle, but I won in life. Because after the battle, Jonny was like, yo, you fucking nice, bro. Like, you gotta come to the studio. And this is when John, like, for anybody that knows Jonny Shipes, they know Jonny Shipes always finds his way into a fucking ill situation.
Word. Knock on wood.
Right. So this guy had a fucking studio on Spring Street. Now Spring Street, for me from Harlem, this is all the way downtown. Right.
That's different from
And not only was it just a studio, it was a state-of-the-art studio, and it was people that I would see on mixtapes and on YouTube at the time in these studios, like J Mills, early J Mills, Vado.
Early 50 when 50
early
was
50.
running the fucking mixtape game.
Saigon. Shout out to the Yard Father, Mark Ronson. Right? Like, I feel like you had me rap for Mark Ronson and Rich Kleiman at the time because they was doing Alito.
That's right, Alito Records.
Shout out to Wale, because Wale was the first artist signed to Alito.
Yep.
Right?
Wale came through
This
the
is
studio.
crazy.
Right. So, you know, you had me come from a battle rapper into making real songs blindly. You just stick me in the studio like, here's the beats. Play me mad beats from everybody. Shout out to Omen and all the guys that used to be around. I used to be having all these crazy fucking beats. And, you know, you put me through a boot camp. But more importantly, it was other rappers there like The Firm and the JRs, and, you know, shout out to them. And I was the young guy. So I felt like I had to work extra hard and be super. I had to want it more than people wanted it for me,
right,
in order for it to work. And you believed in me from the jump. What did you see in me to fuck with me?
That's ill.
Okay, that's fair because, you know, a lot of people ask me this question, but I never really been asked that by a person I've worked with. I mean, I think during that time it was the battle rap era. Not that people aren't still battling, but this is when T-Rex, J Mills, I want to say Vado was probably even around then.
Yeah,
Vado
he was
was
around. He
definitely
was with J Mills. Yeah.
Charlie Clips.
Shout out Charlie Clips. I remember driving through Harlem trying to stalk that band, trying to find him, pulling up on every block I heard he was on, trying to sign him back in the day. And Dizzle, you were dead nice. He was one of the best. You know what I'm saying? I forget homie's name that you battled uptown.
K.R.I.T?
Nah, not K.R.I.T. Bro.
Curtains?
Who was your most famous battle? Nah, not Curtains.
My famous battle.
Was it T-Rex? Somebody that
never Battle Rex. My famous battle was J.R.I.T. on 2/5.
That was after we were fucking with each other, though, wasn't it?
I feel like that might have been a little before.
Word. Well, either way,
This is crazy.
I had heard about him rapping. Then I had seen him in person at the Slam rap battle, and he just had it. He mobbed in with like 10 people. You could see he was the boss of his clique, his clique and his block. And you were just dead nice. And to me, cinematic is built off hip hop first and foremost, and lyricists and lyricism and legendary artists. And I just thought you were special. And you know, look at fucking 20 years later, living legend. You know, underground king. Different artists' careers work differently. You know what I'm saying? Some might propel immediately. Some might level out at a certain place. You know, I'm happy and proud for you because you kept pushing and were able to, you know, a lot of people got washed after different waves, whether it was the mixtape game that you were on, killing with Big Mike and, you know, other artists from your camp back in the day, to, you know, the CD game, through the fucking digital era to where we're at right now, where it's, you know, Spotify, and he's still one of the few standing. A lot of artists weren't able to make that transition, so
That's a fact.
clearly I was right.
Clearly.
Shout out to you.
That's a fact.
Shout out to Dizzle.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, you
Give me an air horn for that.
No bullshit.
Shout out
No
to you
bullshit.
for fucking knowing. Yo, who was the first big artist that you worked with? Because I remember.
Besides Puff.
Yeah, I wonder if we're gonna say the same person, but I feel like it would either be High Tech, Nappy Roots, or Foxy Brown.
Keith Murray.
Oh, fucking Keith Murray, and he tried. Oh, fucking Keith Murray, and this motherfucker, man, he tried to. Yo, you remember? Yo, Keith Murray.
I heard Keith Murray crazy.
Yo,
That's
Hey,
when
man.
Keith Murray first came home from
Right.
whatever, like after Fatty Girls, like.
And he was crazy as fuck.
Yeah.
After Fatty Girls, I'm trying.
You remember that song?
I'm
That was a
trying.
hit right there,
I'm trying
boy.
my best way to break into the game any way possible. I remember hitting Dizzle like, yo, I'm about to be in the studio with Keith Murray. We were hype. You know, this was
Yeah, yeah,
me and him
yeah.
been rocking since day one. So what's good for me is good for him, and vice
That's a
versa.
fact,
He's like,
man.
bet.
It's real shit.
And somehow I found myself not kidnapped for real, because I'm not pussy, but Keith Murray had me kidnapped, locked in this studio. Do you remember that shit, bro? And I had to hit. I think it
Like,
was like
won't let you leave?
some shit like, I don't even remember the full shit, but I know it got to the point where it was like, all right, I'll definitely have to call some people to fucking get the fuck out of this studio. and I think I hit like Prob and Black probably or whoever, and I had to thug my way out of the studio that night.
Crazy.
Yeah, straight up.
But see,
he was dusted up or some shit. I don't even give a fuck to say. He was off his rocker.
Yeah, I think he was drinking a lot of alcohol at that
Something.
time.
He was like, "No, you not leaving till this shit is done." And it was like 4 or 5 of his people. So he's like, "I want you to hear everything." And I just got on my phone. I said, "Hey guys, you have to come down here." You feel me?
But see, the illest part is every fucking artist he worked with, I will always find a way to get a record with them.
Word.
So on my very first mixtape, Respectinized, Volume 1, is definitely a Keith Murray
There's
song.
definitely a Keith Murray song.
He definitely gave me a verse.
Yep.
That's
so
crazy.
you know what I mean? He always found
Shout out Keith Murray. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But you know what though?
What?
Before Keith Murray was Do It All from Lord of the Underground.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Do It All from Lord of the Underground.
How the fuck did I forget
And now
about
I'm thinking
that?
if there was even anybody before him, but I think that was the very beginning.
I think
it was Do It All from Lord of the Undergrounds. Then the fucking Keith Murray.
It was and then Nappy Roots.
Then Nappy Roots.
Shout out to Nappy Roots.
Shout out to Nappy Roots.
That was a good time. And you know, like a lot of people they give credit, but I want to say it out loud because it's a lot of people that came from working under you that's still blossoming right now. You know what I mean? Like you always find a way to put us on. And that's anybody that's in the camp, like relentlessly, like you just do it. Like with Nappy Roots, shout out to Dutch.
Shout out to Dutch,
you know what I mean?
man.
Dutch is one of the illest fucking managers in the game. You know what I mean? And I watch Dutch fucking do it all in order to, you know, get to where he's at. And he started with Nappy Roots, and that was from you. And even with Nappy Roots, again, like I said, I had a verse from everybody, a song, a relate, any type of shit, of course, that came about. So after Nappy Roots, I think it was Foxy.
Yeah, Foxy was crazy, man.
Foxy Brown.
Foxy was quick and crazy. That was like that was 6 months and I was done. Shout out Foxy Brown.
This is some legendary shit, bro. Not for real, though.
For sure. You know, she was great. She is great, but it was just too much for me, you know. And then I started realizing, this music shit isn't as easy as I thought it would be, you know, because I was young. I was probably 22 years old. Tops.
Facts.
That was your training camp.
I didn't find Sean till 26.
But then we started to score because after Foxy came High Tech.
Yeah.
Right? BG was actually before Fox. It was BG then Fox.
Yeah.
Right. And then High Tech. And you know I want to stop at High Tech.
Yeah, High Tech was a good moment.
That was a good moment because for one, that was the first like person that I want to say was currently doing stuff in the climate of the game as far as, you know, being a producer and, you know, being a rapper, and you again given an opportunity, which that was my first time to be able to write for someone. You know what I mean? Like it was always a way that you'll be like, yo, like we going Smoke could do it, you know what I mean? And blindly we drove to Ohio.
You wrote his whole album for him, didn't you?
Me, you, and Bodega Bams. We drove to Ohio. And
shout out Bodega Bams.
And you had me write everything that he said on that shit.
That's a fact.
Word. And from there, shout out to Zach Katz.
Shout out to Zach
Katz. From there came the Sean situation.
Yep.
Now, at first, you know, like I said, I'm gonna follow you to the depths of the end of the earth.
Likewise.
Right? So
you've got me in some pretty fucked up situations. I'm still here.
That's true. The
Hustler's catalog.
The Hustler's catalog. That's true. I definitely did some bullshit. But, you know, what did you see in Sean to know that was gonna work? Because like I understood it, you know, when we was getting into it, but I didn't fully see it like you saw it. Don't let the ghetto bird go. We in LA, y'all.
Is that getting in the?
Yeah, this is definitely.
Don't worry about it. It's
they looking
LA.
for somebody.
We in LA.
So that's the ghetto bird go.
You can't even hear that shit?
Oh no, we can hear it. All right.
We can hear it, but don't worry. I'm stunting. I'm from New York.
I'm
stunting. You know?
Right. So what did you like? You seen it before anybody seen it?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Because I hear the question. A good amount of the music industry is luck, and then you need to know what to do with that luck, and the timing of it. So for me to be like, oh, I knew Sean was going to be the biggest, I didn't. I believed in him. He had a great producer behind him in J.R. Rodham. Shout out J.R. by the way. He's back in the mix. I love that.
Shout out to Tommy Rodham.
You know, and Tommy Rodham as well. Or Rodham, Scrotum.
Yeah.
However you say the name. Shout out both brothers. Love
crazy, yo. It's crazy.
And then
he's crazy.
You know, he had a good team, and he was like a young kid. And I'm going to tell you a crazy Sean story, which I know you know. Mm-hmm. So just so you really understand how you never know in the music industry if shit is going to work or not, if you're on the right track or not. You can believe it, but you just never know if you're right or not. Sean Kingston was a rapper till the day before Beautiful Girls came out.
That's a fact.
Smoke DZA was writing all his raps, and his first single was called Colors featuring Rick Ross. Anybody else?
And
The Game. And Sean Kingston is rapping. And one night we're in the studio, and he comes busting in the door, and he's like, yo, come to the lounge. I gotta let you hear something. And we're getting ready to turn in his album that's all rap music, all written by DZA. The kid, he's 14 years old, Sean. And we get in there, and the Benny King record is playing. Boom, 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 boom. And he starts singing, it started way back, and we were like, you sing? He's like, yeah, I can do patois a little. We were like, what the fuck? So the song was crazy. He was singing to us over the real song. We canceled the session we were in that night, cut the record. It was Beautiful Girls. I was managing Felly Fell at the time, the biggest DJ in all of Cali.
Shout
had the number one slot. Shout out Felly. Had the number one slot in all of Power 106. And Power 106 is the biggest station in the country at the time.
It might shit, still Johnny.
Be. Mm-hmm. So the song gets done, and I take that song and hand it to Felly. He's like, yo, this is a smash. Shout out to Felly. He plays it. When I tell you, I'm getting goosebumps even telling this shit, because this is how me and DZA really got in the industry. This is when we were new, and we could even go into when we almost burnt the Chateau Marmont down and all that shit. Is that shit, we woke up the next morning, Hawaii had played it 17 times, LA had played it 6, New York, everybody in the country was hitting us. We knew we had a smash. It was the record execs at the label were like, this is lightning in a bottle. This is what we call lightning in a bottle. It barely ever happens, but you guys got it. And we were like, yeah. So the song is going nuts. Like, I'm talking about like hundreds of spins within a few days. And basically the record broke. It exploded. We had to go back to Epic and say, look, we need more time to turn this album in because we have to cut a whole new album.
Scrap the whole
album. And then he sung the rest of the songs on the album. And so I didn't really know that Sean was going to be that big. You know what I'm saying? I could tell you other artists that I really believe was going to be that big, and that's not to take anything away from Sean. Some stuff you know, some you don't, some you hope, some you're wrong on. You guys only hear about the shit I'm right about because the ones that are wrong you never hear about because they don't make it. Right. I like to say I bat like 700, like out of every 10 acts, 7 of them work. But I could be like 500, but even so, it's a good number.
It's a good number.
Some people get
that's
one.
A great number.
But yeah, so I didn't really know like that with Sean, and he exploded, and at that moment, I knew what to do with it and how to help him get to the next level, and I also knew for myself, all right, labels are calling, now they finally believe in me. They didn't believe in me or DZA or anybody prior to Sean. No one was trying to give me a label deal, a record deal. No one was even trying to cut me a check. And everybody started hitting me, and that's what got me my label deal, which ultimately allowed me to sign Nipsey Hussle. So that's really crazy. God. Like, when you think about all the things I've been lucky enough to do in my music career, it got started by Sean Kingston, the real start, right? Minus DZA, right? Because DZA was already popping, buzzing in New York. And clearly becoming a writer and known in the industry. Sean was the next thing, and that was the first thing that broke commercially to where people said, oh, we're going to give this dude Shipes a shot. And that shot from a pop artist is how I was able to sign Nip and be in the position of power to sign Nip. So it's crazy. You know?
It all, that's why, I had to bring, because it's all chronological order, because it all ties, it all ties in. So now, we're going to get to Nip, right? Like, I had the honor of being there because I'm always the wingman. Like
since day one.
From day one. Like, when the fucking scientist dude flew us out in the fuck.
Was he a scientist? Is that what he was?
I think he was a scientist. He was somebody that wanted you to do something.
Yeah. Right? This is a crazy story.
And he flew us out and fucking put us in the fucking Chateau Marmont.
With an unlimited tab. Like literally just said, we don't know how long you're gonna stay. So basically, it was this. I believe it was an Asian dude, wasn't it? It was an Asian dude with a shitload of money. This was the first time we ever flew first class. We got picked up from the airport. They took us out of the plane into the private limousine. Me and Dizza are like, who the fuck do they think we are? What are we even here to do? The dude was a big fan of high tech. So he So he wanted to meet us to talk about a high tech deal. I was like, all right, bet. The guy puts us up in the Chateau Marmont. Now, understand, right? People think I'm like funny and wild and crazy now at 40. I was a fucking animal at 26 years old, 25 years old. Like just a disrespectful, not in a fucked up way, but in a pretty fucked up way. Like
we was Animal House.
We were Animal House on wheels. So we're looking at each other like, did we just get picked up in a limo? Wait, they're putting us at the Chateau Marmont, the most legendary fancy hotel out here? What the fuck is even going on? They told us we have no tab, and they didn't know how long we were going to stay. They said you could stay till the deal gets done.
They kept extending the trip. Every time we thought we was going to come home, they was like, oh, nah, we need you to stay. It was every time it was another reason for us to stay.
And we're going on weeks now at the Chateau Marmont. Me and him probably ate so many spaghetti and meatballs that we were about to turn into a
steaks,
bro, everything.
Having
homies come through, ordering for other people.
When he started gaining weight.
Basically.
Yeah, LA definitely did that to me.
Yeah.
Sean and Krit Kingston.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that. Yeah. We're gonna get to that. I just haven't finished. I remember, I don't like to fly. These motherfuckers had us on the top of some big ass building in LA, and they're like, get in the helicopter, come on, we're gonna go ride through the streets of LA. I was like, what? And I got in that helicopter because I really thought we were gonna close the deal. And this was going to be part of the deal closer, and I'm driving through LA in the helicopter, swerving in and out of buildings. Were you in the copter with me?
Nah, I wasn't fuck with
you. Didn't go, right?
I didn't go to the copter.
That shit was nerve-wracking. Long story short, we didn't get the deal done. And I think at some point we felt that they were scamming us too. We didn't even understand why we were there at this point. It was going on weeks. And we're in the Chateau Marmont, and I will never... This is one of my favorite stories to tell. We're getting high. Sean Kingston's on that seat. Whoever's there. Diz is here. Who?
Too Clean.
Too Clean. Shout out Too Clean. Too Clean's there. Dizza, me. No, Dizza, Krit Kingston, Sean's brother, me. Kirk had a big afro at the time. He had just had his braids taken out. And I'm not going to say he was a little slow, but he just was just laid back.
He was a stoner. He was a classic
stoner. Yeah, not slow. That's the wrong word. He was a stoner. And Dizza passed the blunt, the joint. How did it go?
I think I passed something to Sean over Kirk, and I felt like the cherry from the weed
fell out of the shit into Kirk's head, and we're still sitting there smoking. None of this. Listen, I do not lie.
He doesn't know the shit's sizzling.
Nope.
It starts sizzling.
Nope. And we see it.
The smoke started.
And I didn't even say anything at first. I was dying laughing. I was ready to. He goes, yo, man! Yo! Yo, man, fire, man! His shit went up. His shit went up. And you know what burnt hair smells like?
Yes, I do.
Yo, his shit went up in flames. We're all throwing shit at him. We're trying to get the fire out of his hair. He's like, oh, no, man! Yo, Sean is laughing.
He's dying laughing.
Listen, the alarms go off.
That's how much it burnt?
Yes, bro. And burnt hair stinks. And there was am I lying?
Yo, I'm not.
Bro, we had to exit the Chateau Marmont with the rest of the guests, bro. Oh, everyone had to leave the hotel because we almost burnt it down by ashing in his hair. And that low key is how the Ash Anywhere challenge started before we even started it.
Word.
Yeah.
So that's crazy, bro.
So
foul.
So after that happened. And we charged at least $20,000 to the hotel room. I remember that bill and them being like, what in the fuck?
Dom Perignon, steaks,
everything.
Every fucking thing you could think of on that menu.
That was nuggets of weed and he'd go crazy.
That was the last day that we stayed there.
Open tab. That was a good time. Now look, that was good because it was a part of the bookmark.
Yeah, I'm with you.
We still in Cali. So now getting to Nip. What was your introduction to Nipsey Hussle?
Please tell us this.
So the crazy situation with Nip is my real intro was Hot Dollar. If you think about it, see, you forgot about Hot Dollar.
Oh, I forgot about Hot Dollar.
This is the last interview I'm giving, by the way. I said this because I'm gonna drop every gem, every piece of my history on this, and then there's nothing more that has to be said. I'm gonna tell you guys everything, and that's it. I don't ever even want to do an interview again, so I hope this goes down in history.
This is going to go down in history.
This is crazy.
I had signed Hot Dollar, who was Gorilla Black's brother. He had a song called Streets on Lock. And they were from Cali, and they were doing like Southern music, right? And it wasn't very good, to be totally honest with you. No disrespect to them, but it just wasn't. And Jermaine Dupri wound up signing him, doing the deal with us, right? So I said to Felly at the time, because I was managing him still, we had the Sean Kingston thing going. And I was just to myself, because I always look for great artists, but at the end of the day, back then I was hustling, so wherever I could get a check, I would get a check. So Hot Dollar was, somebody that I did a deal with, got a deal from Jermaine, got my check, he got his check, we kept it moving. I said to Felly, I was like, yo, there gotta be a fire rapper on the West Coast. Where is like a real rapper that's painting pictures on some cinematic shit? Who is he? Where is he? There's no fire ass rapper. The next Snoop, the next this, and Nip turned out to be the first Nip. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't even.
You can't even say that better.
Luckier. Yeah. You feel me?
That's
but
crazy.
Felly Fell said to me, he was like, there's this dude Nipsey Hussle, but he's real street, and it comes with a lot, man. I don't know if you really want all that. Like, and I didn't grow up on gang culture. I grew up in New York City, hustling around Dizza and his peoples, and it was never gang shit. It was always hustling shit, and we were a team, and that's how we mobbed, right? But like with Nip and them, they had mentioned this gang shit, and I was never into Cali gang culture. I'm a kid coming from New York. I'm just starting to come to Cali, so I fly home with no thought in my mind like, oh, he's dangerous, or this and the third, or his peoples are dangerous, whatever the fuck Felly had said to me, because I really didn't care. It's always been about the music with me. I'm not here to, I just want to do good music. So
I'm with you.
And I'm not judging people's personal lives, and Nip had a great personal life, but it was just something that I guess Felly knew to stay away from on his end. You know what I'm saying? And I went home. I went on MySpace. I just dated myself. MySpace, okay? And
I'm with you. I'm with you.
And he had Bullets Ain't Got No Names and I Don't Give a Fuck as the only 2 songs on his page. And I listened to that shit like too many times. And I remember calling Dizza and being like, yo, I'm going back out to Cali, bro. You got to check this kid Nipsey out. I sent it to Dizza. I sent it to some other people who thought I was out of my mind. They didn't hear it for whatever reason. Me and Dizza went back out to Cali. I believe I hit Felly Fell, who told me that Steve Lobel was managing Nipsey.
Gotcha.
And Steve was the day-to-day manager for Sean Kingston at the time. Mm-hmm. So I had a relationship with Steve. Steve just hadn't mentioned Nip to me before. So I said, yo, Steve, are you managing a kid named Nipsey Hussle? And he's like, yeah, I can set the meeting up. Flew back out, sat with Nipsey, Steve, Big U, in the trailer. They were...
Before that.
Okay.
Because you're missing something. Now, our whole time we was in LA, we was like, we were in the commercial side of LA.
Yeah.
Like, we played Hollywood.
Yep.
We did the tourist moves. This is our first time into real South Central LA, the real LA, right? So I feel like we pulled up in the 60s.
Yeah, we got looked at crazy first,
right? In the 60s?
We pulled up in the 60s. Yeah. Me, Jonny, and we met Steve over there because he did the introduction to Big U, to Jonny. And they had like a fucking fight club in the back.
They were playing Joel Santana.
And they was working out. They had like the fucking, Big U just had like these fucking animals in the fucking backyard. And they was fucking,
That's a fact.
It was real disciplined shit that I've never seen before.
If you seen like Snowfall or any
oh my God, that's the
fucking
best description, bro.
Menace to Society, like real. When I got there, I was like, okay, this is really what I saw. I'd never seen it before, but Dizza's right, and they were really back there with the punching bags, weights,
all of that,
the whole shit, playing Dipset, mind you.
Facts, and
so
that was hot.
A little at home.
That was hot.
I'll never forget that.
But that, going into that now,
So even that point though, when we got dropped off in that neighborhood, and then we were walking to wherever the set was, remember Big U was like, get behind this car real quick.
Right, because they saw a car that was coming.
A car that they didn't know was driving funny, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm really." I understand what Felly was saying, but I wasn't scared at all. Like at the end of the day, it's a scary situation, but I do music. I'm not there gangbanging or anything. I'm just here to meet Nip and do music. And I'm used to that environment, a different side of it on the East Coast. So we were cool, but it was definitely some other shit. You know what I'm saying? And this is in like, this is pre all social media.
What year was this?
Like 2008, 9 tops.
Yeah.
And we finally get to the bus or trailer that Nip is on. We sit, we talk, and I knew he was special from the moment I laid eyes on him. Pause. Like I just knew. And he talked as elegantly then as he did the last day. You know what I'm saying? And I was sold. Like I didn't even need to hear more music, but we chopped it. He let me hear more music. The shit was crazy. I was like, yo, I gotta sign you, bro. And he was like, let's do it. And the rest is history. We signed, and there was a lot of different, variations of the signing as far as like how it happened, because when I met him, I didn't have my deal locked in at Epic yet.
Right.
I didn't have my label deal locked at Epic. So shout out to Perry Landesberg. I don't know if you remember this.
Ringtone money.
So we used to get ringtone money with this dude Perry Landesberg. Mm-hmm. And he was so far ahead of the game. He was doing this shit called Selfish Media. And he basically said, yo, do you have an artist you want to sign? I'll do a deal with you. And I went to Nip. I said, bro, let's do this deal over here. He'll let us put out all our music. He wants to record you on cell phone footage. Like when Nip's documentary comes out, you'll see that there's some old cell phone footage that we shot on a Razor.
Got that footage?
On a Razor, bro. We gave Nip a Razor phone to film himself in the studio back in the day, a Razor Flip. And we did a deal with Perry at first. And then we started putting music out, and Nip was going crazy. He was on fire. He was a real one from out here coming to New York, you know what I'm saying? So a Crip coming to New York City, you hadn't seen that since Snoop.
Word.
So the whole fucking community got behind him in New York, and off one trip, everybody was talking about him in New York. And then he went back to LA, everybody was talking about him there, just started exploding.
But we got to give y'all kudos though too for, you know what I'm saying, for making that happen though,
yeah,
bro.
For sure. It starts with the artist, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it was Nip. But we knew how to help him get to the next level and help him reach his goals, you know what I'm saying? But you can never take it away from the star. Like, I couldn't say I made Dizza. I wouldn't say I made Nip. I didn't make nobody. But I help people get to where they're at, because it's just, that's how it goes. It takes a star, and then it takes a team, you know?
See, I feel like, it's gems. I feel like the turning curve with Nip was Hustle in the House. That record.
Yeah.
Because that was the record that was like, he's here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We shot the big video in L.A. Mm-hmm. Snoop came through. Couldn't even get out the car because all the homies was fucking going crazy.
It was a full-out brawl.
It was a full-out fucking brawl.
They took someone's fucking face off. Yeah. That shit was crazy. That was when I was really like, oh yeah, I'm knee-deep in this shit. Yeah. I'm knee-deep in this shit. Somebody said some outlandish shit to Snoop, and the homies, Nipsey's homies, just, it went there.
That was a day.
It was ugly.
That
and then we resumed shooting the video. But yeah, Hustle in the House was a crazy record, you know. We worked on all that shit with them. So I remember helping to write that hook for the girl singing it, you know what I'm saying? That was back in the day before I was even doing, like, you know, I was producing, like, I produced Strap for him and co-produced a bunch of the other joints, like even I Don't Give a Fuck. I wound up going back in with Quincy Jones III and working on that with him. Blue Laces with Mr. Lee.
Blue Laces.
I was about to say that.
But that was like early.
Blue Laces. Remember when Drake hopped on Blue Laces? No, that's
Drake
not Blue Laces.
I was about to say,
Killer.
Word?
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
Word.
Hopped on
that
Blue
was
Laces?
early. Not Blue Laces. Killer. Killer.
Oh, okay.
Killer.
Yeah, like Nip was a.
Yeah. The shit was crazy there.
Yeah.
And it was a great time, you know what I mean? And you know, things people don't realize about Nip is he was hysterical. Like, if you think me and Dizza are funny,
he was one of us.
Yeah, he was hysterical. Funny. You know, only in closed circles though. He didn't want to be looked at as a joke. He made that clear to me early on. I used to tell him, bro, let's write our own version of Friday, and he was like, nah. You know, he would sit and watch Godfather. How many times do you think you watched Godfather?
Thousands of times.
At least 500. At least 100 in my crib.
Now I watch Godfather thousands of times, right?
Bro.
It's crazy.
So he was very serious about his business from the beginning. He had it mapped out. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. Yeah, Nip was just he was legendary from the beginning, you know.
He knew what he wanted.
From the beginning, he was in there. He taught me gems that I picked up and took with me for life. You know what I'm saying? He definitely, yeah, he knew, and he knew what he was destined to do. And he would tell me stuff like, you know, like I would ask him like who his real peoples were, like, because you know you could see things being a little sticky even from the beginning, like certain people were around and maybe shouldn't have been. He's like, you'll see who's around at the end when it's all said and done. I'm gonna be with my team, my brother Black Sam, you know, shout out Sam, like Kabi Supreme, certain people that he just, you know,
that core circle.
Yeah, that like some of them were in jail at that time. Like I met people in different stages, you know. Cuzzy Capone was around from the beginning.
Jay Stone.
Jay Stone, he used to play me Jay Stone's music. We used to ride around, and he would just play me Jay Stone. Jay Stone was dead nice, but he didn't come home for like 7 years or some shit. It took Jay Stone a minute to come home. And yeah, you know, that was the Nip story, and shit just went crazy, and I knew that he was the one, you know.
R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah, man, it doesn't even seem real.
Yeah, every time I'm in LA, it feels fucking strange.
Yeah,
with you know,
damn, son.
Just not knowing. But you know, from there, right? Like I said, you're a fucking gold miner, and these series of events all happen at the same time. So, me, Nip, and now it's another artist that you discovered that I remembered you played a song for me, and instantly I looked at you, my eyes got wide with one of them faces, and I'm like, yo, this nigga is it. And you was like, I'm going to Mississippi to go meet this guy, and I'm going to go see what he talking about. And I feel like that came from Perry too, no?
Yep.
Right?
Shout out Perry Landisberg, because Perry played me ringtone beats from his ringtone company. So the same guy, by the way, to circle back to Nip for 1 sec, Perry Landisberg is such a real motherfucker that Nipsey was signed to us. We did his first deal before I had my actual big record deal.
Okay.
At a cell phone company to just try to put music out. And once he started buzzing crazy, I went to Perry and I was like, "Yo, bro, this isn't the look for him. I just got my label deal over at Epic. I'm really trying to bring him there." And Perry didn't ask for anything. He just let Nip go. He just said, "Yeah, man, just do the few ringtones for me, bro. You can have him back. Like, you can have the contract, whatever you want. You can have the whole thing back." And he gave Nip back his contract, and then Nip went and did his deal. So Perry, you know, Perry's a great dude. He helped us out a lot. And Perry had played me beats from Krit, and the beats were incredible. I was like, "Yo, who made these?"
That's crazy.
And he's like, "Oh, it's this dude in Mississippi. He makes beats and sometimes raps ringtones for me." So I said, "Let me hear the raps." And like some of the raps were like songs that wound up making Krit was here. Just Touched Down.
Damn,
which is like an amazing record. I was like, "Yo, let me give me the contact." So I hit him up.
Once again, being lucky.
Yeah, you know, lucky, right timing. Obviously, you know, I do have a good ear, so that helped. I listened and I went, met him, and you know, the rest was history. Krit is one of the greatest artists I'll ever find. One of the best talented, most talented, humble, good people I know, and he rapped and produced everything you basically ever heard from him. And he sang, and you know, you just look back on those 3 or 4 mixtapes he put out before his debut album. Krit was here. Krit was here.
Live from the Underground.
Live from the Underground. Why am I spacing now?
Catalytica.
Forever in a Day.
Forever in a Day.
And then there's one other. Forever something. But those 4 projects are just gem after gem after gem after gem. And yeah, that's
Krit from
Mississippi,
Meridian,
so
Mississippi.
Did you come to that first trip with me? Steve-O did, right?
Steve-O did, and I feel like Cootie and Chike.
That's crazy. So you went to Cali, Mississippi, like you all over, like you didn't just that's crazy.
People thought I was crazy because people thought I was nuts signing Nip. And quote unquote letting the 60s into the game. That's what people would tell me. Like, "Yo, you let the rolling 60s into the industry?" I said, "I didn't do. What are you talking about? I'm doing music. I signed the artist. Fuck." And then people thought I was crazy for K.R.I.T because that was in the middle of when Young Jock and T.I. and everything was going on. And K.R.I.T was from the South doing hip-hop music, Southern,
real hip-hop.
He rapping.
Yeah, and he wasn't even from Atlanta. He was from Mississippi. So people thought I was like out of my mind. Like, yo, I don't know what Shipes is doing, but you know, but we put out K.R.I.T was here, and it was a masterpiece. Not even a classic. That was a masterpiece, and everybody started calling, and we wound up signing with Sha Money. Shout out to Sha.
Sha Money, yes, sir.
Def Jam, yeah.
And we went to Def Jam, and that was whack. Like most major labels, you know, they didn't get the vision. They wanted us to make songs that sounded this way or that way, and
right.
we wound up leaving Def Jam after the debut album. Because L.A. Reid was really big on K.R.I.T. He's like, yo, you remind me of Outkast. And then L.A. Reid was gone like 2-3 months later.
He loved people from the South.
Yeah. So I think K.R.I.T would have been way bigger under Def Jam had L.A. not left. And you know, K.R.I.T's career wound up great. He's independent now. He owns all his own music. So, you know, it all worked out for him. So that's good. But yeah, K.R.I.T was an incredible find. Got lucky again.
But all them artists had longevity.
Yeah. I'm not trying to find artists that are like flash in the pans. I don't chase like singles or like one song that's heating up or shit like that. I'd rather develop an artist for 2-3 years until they're a superstar, you know?
So you believe in artist development
yeah,
still?
Of course. That's what cinematic
they say
is.
That's going on in the game now.
But all the artists at Cinematic are artist development. We haven't had one artist just come in and be like, oh, okay, this is it. You know, the one song blows up. Like Flip De Niro, we developed for 2 years before.
Facts.
Leave Me Alone.
Facts.
You know, Joey, years before Devastated.
Now, wait, don't get into Joey yet, because you know I'm about to get into that.
Yep.
But, all right, so being that we
I was just going to say one last thing, my bad. Dizza never even had a quote-unquote hit. He's here 20 years later,
That's
30 albums.
My dog.
I think I read some shit like you put out 30 albums or some shit.
30?
I read something about 30 something. It's at least 10, 15
Talk
albums.
your shit
yeah,
on it.
It's like 15 maybe. I don't know.
I read some
think
press
lost
release where it said something. But anyway, either way, you know, 15 albums, 10 albums later, however many it is, Dizza, with not even a hit, and he's more relevant than ever. So that's the type of artist you got to find. You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
Lifestyle, lifelong artist. And like I said, the gold miner. Now, back to the gold mining. Right?
But a lot of people don't even know that you had involvement in none of this, bro.
Dizza was involved in every piece of cinematic. Like, I have the first mixtape cover. Remember Reel to Reel?
We all had the cinematic jackets on?
Yeah, like, and you know, a lot of artists couldn't swim or couldn't fish for their own. You know what I'm saying? Like, you teach people how to do certain shit, and Dizza always, you know, was able to push himself to the next level. And also, it helped that we're best friends, so he'd always be with me anywhere we're going. You know, doing things, absorbing different scenarios and situations, and being able to, you know, because he's such a good writer, write for others and shit like that, you know? So.
I mean, you taught me how to fish, so, you know, I had to, you know, give back to the universe from that. But, with, you know, going back into the gold mining, right? And all of these things happen at the same time. So, it's me, it's Nip, it's Krit. And then one day, you was on World Star Hip Hop, and you was, I don't know what the fuck you was looking at. I think this is like the Idiot Box era when we was just fucking doing stupid shit. And it was this fucking 15-year-old kid rapping like he was fucking 25. And you played this kid for me, and I'm like, yo, where is this nigga from? It's like, he's from Brooklyn. And that artist happened to be Joey fucking Badass. Now,
legend, another legend.
I might have even said the finding wrong, because it might have even been different for you, but that's how I remember it.
Yeah.
What made you gravitate into doing that? Because that was your first, I want to say, young find when you was polished.
Yeah.
Right? So what was the process in that for you?
That was me watching A$AP Rocky and Tyler the Creator pop off at a very young age. A$AP right in our backyard, we watched it. You know what I'm saying? And seeing Tyler be big on the West Coast, and I really remember saying to myself, like, yo, there gotta be a fire young MC that like I could find. Like, I just willed it into existence damn near. I was like, I was so impressed with how Rocky and ASAP was moving and how Odd Future was moving that it started to be like, you know, like an obsession of mine. Like, I gotta find a young kid. And the way I remember it was not on Worldstar. I could be wrong, but I just remember like typing in like 15-year-old rapper in YouTube, 14-year, like just mad things until this video popped up. And it had like 100 views on it. And it was Joey rapping in school, right? Like in the.
I feel like it was like in a staircase.
Yeah, it was a staircase of school. I think Steez may have been in the video.
Yep, he was.
And yeah, rest in peace, Steez. And I just knew the minute I saw Joey.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
that was one of them short things.
Yeah, for sure. I was like, all right, let me find him. And then I found him and sat with his mom and, you know, told him how big a fan I was, what I'd done in the past. And Joey was the first artist that I did fully indie. I had been done with the majors at that point because I was just fed up with them. You know, with the Nipsey era, they didn't know what they were doing. We had heated Nipsey up so on fire, you couldn't have asked for anything else. I'm talking about like as hot as 50 was when his mixtapes were out. Nipsey was that. And Epic still wouldn't put the album out. They were telling us to go in with dance producers and shit like that, make a bigger hit record, remix the Snoop record he had, all types of stupid shit. So, and then Krit was fire. Krit was here, had him on fucking fire. And for Krit was here, they were like, yeah, we just don't know if he's ready for an album, all this stupid shit. And I just had enough. So with Joey, I was like, bro, let's go indie. No one will be able to tell us shit. We could be true partners, you know what I mean? Like, blah, blah, blah. And I did it through Sony Red. Shout out to Bruce Carbone, who put me on to Sylvia Rowan. Sylvia gave me my shot. She got me a whole indie distro deal at Sony Red at the time. And I put Joey out, and I was the label / management, you know, and I was using the management money to fund his label side and just by any means necessary till, you know, he popped. And before the money came out, it killed it. And then the rest is history. Now, you know, me and Joey worked.
Bet on yourself, man.
Yeah, me and Joey like worked real hard on a lot for a long time, from the clothing line to the festival, the Steez Day Fest, to, you know, he wanted to act and stuff, so I tried helping him break into that. Anything I could do to help him, you know. Yeah, Joey is he's an incredible talent in general, not just artist, you know.
Facts. And the illest part with all of this is you had us all at the same fucking time.
Right.
That's the mind-blowing part. Like, when I look back and I think about it, like, you know what I mean? Even, you know, it was a stint, I want to say, in that era when, before, you know, I think Kendrick was like doing like Section 80, or maybe even before Section 80, where fucking we had TDE around and we was all working. And I feel like that, not that situation, but our first show that we did in South by Southwest, that fucking, you know, sprouted into what we doing today, 10 years later, Smokers Club. We had all those artists on the show.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
You know what I mean?
One thing I'll tell you is we're always ahead of the curve.
It's crazy, bro. Like, it sounds
shit,
sounds unbelievable.
Talk
like,
your shit,
you know
man.
what I mean? If I didn't live it, and if I couldn't pull up the footnotes, I would be ashamed to tell the stories. Because people just sound so fake.
Nah, I don't even tell a lot of the stories unless you're around or somebody's around, because it doesn't even sound real.
It don't even sound real, you know what I mean? So, from starting in motherfucking South by Southwest, from an idea that we came up with in your apartment on 23rd Street at the time, and for that to turn into this,
donuts,
and this, and that shirt right there, like, did you think that we was gonna do this from fucking being in Austin, sitting on that curb after the show?
So here's the thing. In the least cocky way, yeah. I started writing the book, the monologue for the, or whatever you want to call the intro to the Smokers Club book that we're working on, and that's how I started it. Who would have ever thought that we would have gone from, you know, we used to hustle weed illegally when we were young. That's actually, I think, well, Ferris linked us, but then I linked with your brother, who was deep in the game, and
right.
I would buy my weed off him and go do what I would do. And then Dizza started hustling. We were all hustling. And I started the book by saying, who would have thought we would go from hustling to legally owning the Smokers Club, ... And then I said, we did. Because we did. Because we pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed until, you know, they had no choice but to let us in and to respect us, because it just, what else are you going to do? Like, you know, so I did. I truthfully did. And like, this tattoo, the cinematic tattoo I have, was my first tattoo. Like, people used to think I was crazy when I would say it's my label, but the truth of the matter is I look at a lot of shit now and I really say to myself, wow, I talked all this into existence, because every piece of it is something that I saw, and some way along the lines or another, we got lucky enough to know that like we were on the right path. Sometimes we didn't know we were on the right path. Sometimes we go on tour, lose 100 bands, come home, and be like, damn, we just lost money on the Smokers Club. But the outside world is like, yo, Smokers Club is the shit. And me, him, and Bubs are in the back room like, what the fuck you mean there's no money? How did we lose 30 bands on these fucking shows? And I'm like, yo, Bubs, I'm telling you, we didn't make no money. So, like, you know, it takes a lot of trial, error, mistakes to get where you're going. But as long as you make it look good along the way, fake it till you make it, you know?
I got that quote. How did you meet Shice Bubs?
Shice Bubs. Key.
We left Shice
Tell
off
me how
the
you met
fucking
Shice Bubs,
list.
please.
Oh, yeah, hold up.
That.
So how did I meet Shice Bubs? First of all, yeah, okay, so I didn't leave him off the list. This is a good progression.
It was a good progression.
And now we're going to circle back to Bubsy. So,
yes, sir, we here.
So Shice Bubs, you would hear the legend of Shice Bubs as a hustler, right? Me and Dizzle were hustling packs for a minute. And you hear the legend of Shice. He got the piff.
He got the purple.
He got the best weed in all of New York. And we're in the studio one night, and somehow, do you remember who gave me the link to him?
I don't remember. I just remember you telling me. That
I don't even remember how.
Yeah,
I don't remember how I got linked with him, but I know I was looking for him for a minute, and finally somebody was like, "Yeah, Bubs," put me in touch with him. Bubs pulls up to the studio. He's like, "Yo, I'm downstairs." I come down. This kid is in 2 caravans, bro. One with a bunch of Goonies in the back, right?
Probably
and about this is like 2004.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like early, bro.
Early.
Okay.
You know?
Early.
Because Bubs was actually the first management client.
Yes. Officially.
So yeah, Bubs was the first client. I met him through hustling, but then said to him, bro, let me manage you. Like, he was popping. He had the Purple City Bird Gang song going. He was doing all types of crazy shit. And somebody had linked me with him. He came through 2 caravans deep, smoked the fuck out. This is when weed was illegal as fuck. 2004 in New York. Kid had like probably 10 ditties in the fucking 1 caravan. Like, what you want? I was like, I want the piff. He passed me 2 pounds. He's like, I'll be back. I was like, you want the money now? He's like, no, I'm going to come see you tomorrow. I was like, all right, because I really want to talk to you about some shit. He gave me the 2 pounds. I feel like I got rid of one that night, came to him the next day with the cash, and then we just started rocking. You know what I'm saying? And Bubs really put me and Dizza on in a certain way, shape, and form, you know, between now having the really good weed, because, you know, just to keep it a buck, Diz's brother used to sell the brick weed. I remember.
Yeah, nah. Gargamel had all the fucking Arizona and the chocolate.
That's what niggas was working with.
We had the shop because we had the store in Harlem, the 99-cent store. You know what I mean? This is that era, but
and that weed wasn't bad for that time, but the piff was the piff, you know.
Yeah,
but I remember
the piff was the piff.
I remember going into Sion's crib or whatever it was, and the weed was piled up to the ceilings, bro. It was the most weed I ever seen. I was like, damn, it's like that. He's like, yeah, he had the Caribbean accent. But then we linked with Bubs, and then, you know, we were rocking with the piff, and, you know, I asked him to let me manage him. We started managing Purple City. Dizza started working with Bubs, and, you know, everything just started coming together there. You know what I'm saying?
My son,
he definitely fucking made us valid in the weed world as far as having
100%.
You know what I mean?
You fuck with the Emperor.
That he's there fucking with the Emperor. That's a fact. So it all tied in full circle. We fucking did a festival that had 30,000 people there in a 2-day span.
Yep.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, man, and we're gonna do way more of those. I mean, we had the next one planned until fucking COVID hit. You know, that was a hard festival because that was right after Cousin Todd passed.
Shout out to Cousin Todd.
I remember.
Todd,
yeah, I remember showing up to the fest like the day before because you don't realize how big something is some of the times because you're in it. So it's like you just don't ever think like, oh shit. You take a second to step back. You're like, yo, there's gonna be mad people here tomorrow. Yo, there's 3 stages. Yo. Young Thug is performing, or you know, whoever, K.R.I.T or whatever, and like I just remember being there and being like, damn, like this is big. And then the next day it was sold out. It was crazy. Mac and Wiz gave him shout outs.
It was. I cried when I got off
Me
the
too.
stage.
I did too. I cried when I was walking the grounds
because that shit felt like I got goosebumps talking about it because. I felt like he was there. I felt his spirit.
Yeah, you felt it.
Todd was with us this weekend. I'm telling you. Like,
he's a pure soul, man. I've been around him.
You know what I mean? Every time I think of some shit, some fucking stupid shit, or like I see somebody that fucking has a lisp, automatically I'm like, this motherfucker Todd. It's just, you know.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to baby bro, man. Fucking cousin Todd. But fucking, you know, you've done a lot of legendary things, bro. Mm-hmm. And you know, I always give you private praise, and I give you praise when you're not in the room. But I want to give you praise with the cameras in front of me.
Thanks, man.
Nah, he loves you, Chef.
You saved.
He loves you.
He better fucking love me. I love him. What the fuck?
You saved my life, bro.
I don't know about all that.
I'm telling you. Listen to me. You saved my life, and I'm gonna tell you how. Because a kid from Harlem started battle rapping, had no direction into the industry. And you bet on me.
Facts.
And you believed in me before I believed in me. And I don't know. I don't know how I could ever pay you back, but just continue to be Smoke Dizza. But it would be no Smoke Dizza without Jonny Shipes.
I can't co-sign that.
I stand on that.
appreciate
It would be no Smoke Dizza without a Jonny Shipes. Facts.
Okay, I appreciate the compliment, and you don't ever have to pay me back. You just stay being my best homie and fucking, you know, all the laughs that we have, and that's good enough for me.
Well,
and all the good times, you know what I'm saying, and the down times when you're there for me when I'm hurt, and vice versa. All the extra shit, man. I don't give a fuck about any of the industry, this, that, the third. Listen, when all the lights go off and the social media shut off and shit, and you start to miss your friends, whether it's, you know, we've lost a lot of people unfortunately together. Wow. That's what matters, that you have a support system and somebody that cares about you, you know, and I care about you and you care about me, and you know, we can move off this topic so it doesn't get too emotional.
No, we're not gonna get emotional. I'm about to say some funny shit.
Good.
Because we fight like brothers for real, because you're really my brother in real life. We went a whole year not speaking.
Yep, I loved every minute of it. Can we go back to give me one more year about that? Give me one more year like that.
And I want to say that time matured me, because for the first time in my music life, I didn't have you to fall on. Like, all right, if I fuck up, Jonny gonna help. It was like that was the time where I had to take everything you taught me and everything I learned from watching you, and I had to turn into a self-sufficient artist, where I had to go make my own relationships and figure it out, because I'm like, I gotta prove to him that I can do this shit for real. And I knew I was gonna talk to you again, because we was both stupid, and it was a lot my fault.
And shout out for Prob, even though, you know,
because Prob was definitely trying to.
Yeah, he was the one that made me call you, or vice versa.
He was definitely mediating the whole thing.
You'll never get back in the whip, bro. But
even though he's a piece of shit, we still love you. But you know what I mean? You where you at? But you know, that shit matured me. You know what I mean? Because if that was a sink or swim time for me, and I feel like, you know, that time, like I said, that shit matured me and fucking turned me into, let me be able to do this. Like, have a fucking staff of people to actually,
I love it, and
do something new.
And you bossed up, and I love it. And you know what? That time, as much as it hurt me because we weren't talking, you know what I'm saying? Like, it probably helped me too, because I've had my fallouts with a lot of artists that I care a lot about. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, you know, for this interview, I'll just throw it all on the line. Maybe it will go viral. But you know, there was a time where me and Nip didn't talk for a year. There was a time when me and Joey didn't talk for 2 years, you know? And I miss them every day of that shit. People don't really know that, you know, but I miss them every day of that shit, because especially people that I'm super close with like that, you know, Joey is and was a brother to me. Nip was a brother to me, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, people grow, people go through their own things. I might have been being weird, who knows what it was, you know what I mean? But what makes it the best is when you could get through that, because it's just like if two brothers fight and punch each other in the face or some shit, or even if you fight your best friend, it makes that relationship stronger.
Facts,
you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
When me and Nip rekindled, you know what I'm saying? Just because we had a year where we were like not really seeing eye to eye over shit early, just right when everything kind of went haywire in general. When we linked back up, it was great.
Mm-hmm. It was like it never happened.
We hadn't joked in a year plus, you know what I mean? He came, scooped me up from the airport. It was like old times, and that's how you know, oh, this is really my brother. This, you know, that fight was whatever. Me and Diz the same shit, you know what I mean? Right. I remember every day I'd be, I'm never talking to that motherfucker. You know, me and Joey fucking, you know, it was big bro, little bro with me and him. Like, that was really like somebody that, and I still do, but in that time frame, when you go through something like that, that shit hurts. It's like a family member, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
so, you know, the ups and downs build everybody, and it's how you weather the storms that build your capabilities to succeed. Because when I'm down, or if you were down in that year, maybe you weren't, maybe you were up, maybe you were down and you had to find your way. I know, you know, certain times when I would have issues with artists, it would make me rethink, should I even be in this industry? Damn, I just gave my whole heart to this person, and you know, they shitted on me, or they might be looking at me the same way, but it's just miscommunications, and you need to learn to work through those. So all of these, you know, whether it was you, Nip, Joey, anybody I've had a miscommunication with, or whatever you want to call them, they were always squared away, because at the end of the day, I do nothing, I don't treat people any which way but how I want to be treated. So I know I wasn't stealing, I know it wasn't over some bad business, I know it wasn't over me doing some fuck shit. It was just, you know, when you date only one girl, if you will, you're going to always wonder what else is out there, you know what I'm saying? So maybe, who knows, maybe, you know, you get sick of the relationship, you think you could do better at a major, this, that, the third. I've learned through all of those situations not to take shit personally. It's not always about me. If me and Dizza are having a fallout, maybe I didn't do anything. Maybe Dizza is going through something, you know what I mean? So that shit, it's regular at this point. I'm used to it. It happens. I just like to always try to resolve it when I can.
It's part of growth.
It's part of growth. The funny shit, you know, in that year, you know, I remember fucking, you know, you always had me just independently thinking about just, you know, doing it myself and just figuring it out. And I'm just like, man, I want to sign to a major. I want to see what the fuck that's like, right? So I had a fucking meeting with LA, Sylvia, bunch of people, and I did the whole song and dance performance thing. And Aaron Reed at the time was the one that got me over there or whatever, because we was friends, and you know, he would come hang out in the trap with us and smoke and shit. And fucking, I thought I had it in the bag. I'm like, man, watch. When Shipe say about this, I know he gonna be hype. I know we gonna speak. Sylvia said I was too old. And at the time, I think I was probably like 29. And it hurt, because I'm like, I'm too old. I'm fucking 29. Right? But in the same instance, she probably saved and preserved me.
It's a fact, because you would have been sitting up there.
And, you know, I knew Sylvia from the time when, you know, you was fucking with, so we was familiar. Shout out to Sylvia. This is no bad words.
She's a queen of my eyes.
I love Sylvia Roan. Love, 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 love. She probably might not even remember this. However, you know, that time, I remember just trying to prove myself so fucking hard, right? And that's because my big brother, I'm like, man, look, man, he got to see I could play in the game. Like, I don't need the training wheels. Like, look, this is what I'm doing. And our falling out was probably something. I think it was something stupid, like when I had my falling out with Bams. Because
I was gonna tell. I know exactly what it was.
I was doing a lot of stupid shit at the time.
I'm down to open up the whole.
No,
shout out Bodega Bams.
Because this is the personal.
Shout out
to Bodega Bams.
This man almost had me go to war with these kids, right? Who I love. I love Ola and Bams.
And they was fucking wilding at the time.
They were wilding for sure.
It was fucking wild. But I did some bullshit.
Typical. And it was so light work. It was so small in the scheme of things. I'm like,
it was a fucking camera, all right? It was about a fucking camera.
Over a camera?
Ass camcorder that really...
And then Nate was being petty.
It was deeper than the camera. I was being petty, but it was deeper than the camera. So Ola had fucking sold me a camera for like $600 or some shit like that. And I might have gave him like $300 and did a smoke dizzle on him. And... I'm
happy you said that.
And the whole thing was... It was deeper than that because at the time, you know... Bams and O used to run behind me, you know, since high school. Like he tells a story all the time. You know, the reason that he got into being an artist is from watching me in high school battle and shit. And he was like my muse at a time. And he's another person that will follow me to the end of the earth.
I don't think muse is the right word.
Muse, because I would like tell him to do certain things. And like as far as rap-wise,
that's a protege. A muse is somebody that fucking weirdo right here.
Thank you.
You should all look up what a muse is.
Yeah, all right.
I will.
You see now you see why I go hard on you. He go hard.
That's your big homie.
All right, so cool. Yeah, so he was my protege, and he still would right now walk to the end of the earth for me, right? And on the opposite side, I always seen him being who he is. He never was supposed to be under me, and I didn't want that obligation. But, you know, I used to record in this crib. I used to do things that I was supposed to give him the kickback, right? And I don't regret it. I would do it again. Because it made him Bodega Bams.
Right.
Right? And I remember Ola asking me, like, yo, you got any plans for Bams? Like, and I'm like, nah. But, like, it was mean, right? But
they needed to hear that because they went way harder. They started Tamboys after that, didn't
right?
They?
And I was the target. I was the bullseye for them, right? And the camera was just that was just the last straw, just for them to just fucking just lose it on.
But mind you, Dizza had never told him about the camera. He was just like, yo, they're threatening me.
They just fucking acting stupid.
Acting crazy.
And they wasn't threatening. They was just fucking doing dumb shit. Like, he made a fucking song with
diss
Where's
record.
the Horns? Where's the Horns or some stupid shit like that.
Yo, right? Shout out Nate Bams, man.
And I would not respond to him because I'm just like, I know this is just going to give him more.
Yo, can we find that song, Where's the Horns?
We gonna find the song.
We need that song.
I think they got it. I think it's on the internet. It's probably on YouTube. And, you know, the shit got really intense. Because, you know, when we get in fucking war mode, we start fucking conspiring, and it never was to hurt them. I was just doing Jay-Z shit to them. Like, fucking with their rivals, and just doing stupid shit. Just to get a rise out of them. And then, you know, it came to a head. And we had a meeting, and we all sat down. And that's when the big reveal came. That I didn't tell you about this camera.
I was so mad at you.
And you was fucking livid.
He's really doing the PG version of it. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but there was plotting being going on. We were running around with weapons. We had shows. We'd have to come, you know, not have to come 20 deep, but we'd be 20 deep in case the shit popped off.
Right.
They were running with their people at that time, you know what I'm saying?
And they was on Wild Out time too. So, you know, it was
like whatever. And I'm the ringleader at this point. This is when I was wild as fuck. I'm wilding up, blacking everybody. I'm like, yo, we see him? It's fucking on. In the club, I don't give a fuck. Blah, 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 right? So, you know, and then we sit out. Yo, and it came to a head at the XXL freshman photo shoot.
Yes.
Because we're in there, and some kid that we don't fuck with anymore that was part of our squad pressed Nate Bam's manager and was like, yo, banging, you know, gangs on him. You ain't shit. Get the fuck up out of here. Bah, 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 bah. And he made a call to one of his homies that got back to me, and they're like, yo, it's full all on war. Everybody, and like I said to Dizza, I said, yo, shit is getting crazy at this point. What the fuck? we should have a sit down with these kids. Like if it's that, it's that. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
if this is what it's gonna be, then this is what it's gonna be. But like for real, like I grew up with these kids almost. Like I knew them since they were like what, like 15,
and
16?
I legit grew
They're
up
younger
with
than
them.
you, right?
Yeah, they're younger.
Right, like you really grew up with them.
Yeah.
I watched them grow up. I played ball with them every day. I really had a lot of love for them. I was like, yo, this is getting into a whole different thing where somebody could lose their life over this shit. I was like, yo, let's have a sit down. We sat down, and these motherfuckers, I'll never forget. Nate is like, but yo, you didn't pay me back for the camera, bro. You didn't give me back the money for the camera. And this is like, I forget what Dizza said exactly, but then Ola was like, yeah, bro. Like, what about the camera, man? We wanted that camera, man. You stole that from us. And I said, yo, Dizza. I said, yo, Dizza, did you steal a camera from them? And he was like,
I
didn't steal it, but like, I might have not paid. I said, this is what this is over? We're all beefing, like really, someone might lose their life over a fucking camera. And that was the end of it. And then that day I said, yo, listen, man.
That was when he started to be sick of me. He started to become sick of me.
Oh, is that when we had the fallout?
Nah, that was approaching the fallout. I think the fallout came, it was like Smokers, after like the third Smokers Club, we was going back on Smokers Club, and Joey and Absol was the headlines of it. I had no problem.
And you didn't want to do it or something, right?
I didn't want to do it because the agency we was working with at the time was lowballing me. And I'm like, I'm not fucking taking this after getting this. And I feel like we had a fight over some weird, stupid shit with that. And then it was just for me wanting to prove myself, to prove my worth.
The Aquarius in you.
Right.
Yeah. You also had some people in your corner that were in your ear that probably...
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Definitely.
No. I mean, I always got people in my ear, but I'm going to make the final decision at the end of the day.
Fact.
Yeah, that's a fact.
You know what I mean? So it was more so just me wanting to prove myself because...
Look, I respect it because you did, and I'm happy the way everything panned out because we're back cool with Nate and Ola.
Mm-hmm, my brothers, I love them niggas.
You and I knew that was never going to last. That just couldn't.
Right.
You know, and it was all good. But yeah, just funny ass shit, man. Fucking with Dizza, you never know what the fuck. Man.
Oh, trust me, I know. Trust me.
You don't know shit. Fuck you, co-signer.
Stop this. Let's go.
How long do you two know each other? I'm about to flip this whole interview on YouTube.
I've known this guy since
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, I've known him since like 2011, I want to say. My man Vinnie Mac, who I known all my life from the neighborhood, from 118th in Manhattan. You know, I'm originally from 18th between Manhattan and Morningside, but then I moved to the 9 when I got a little older. So anyway,
probably a little before that. We probably
maybe 09, maybe 09.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
you kind of look like Sam Cassell.
Oh, yo, you going hard?
You kind of look like Sam
Cassell. This ain't going down like this, bro.
So Mac bought Show around, and Show, like we always had this podcast energy because he's just a funny nigga, and you know, I always was just like, bring this nigga around. Like, where is he? So, you know, he was with me a lot. He done came to a lot of your cribs. You probably don't even remember.
No, I do, bro. No, I do remember you 100%. I was shocked when you guys started doing the podcast together just because I just didn't know you were...
see this side of me.
Yeah. No, I definitely remember you.
Every time I came around, I was quiet. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I didn't want to...
Nah, but he's a decent character.
We ain't gonna go there, man. I'm really not ODing right now because I'm learning.
That's what you're supposed to do. This is the episode.
This is not
that's
one
why
of
I said
those
it's
episodes.
not too much banter with me and you because I wanted to keep this.
I'm learning right now.
Exactly. Good. So now
I know when to shut the fuck up.
All right. So now, all right. Look. You're talking too much. Do that now.
Stop, man.
Do that now. All right. So look. I'm about to give you some love. So I don't know if you're familiar with the segment of my show, right? Well, the segment of the show right now. Give me the little sound effect, please.
What is the sound effect? Okay.
Don't worry.
All right.
You'll see.
What is your porn star of the week?
Yo, I wanna. You fuck with porn?
Yeah, everybody fucks with porn.
Okay, my man fuck with porn.
If somebody comes on this fucking show and is like, I don't fuck with porn, they're fucking lying. Stop it.
I love you. You know what I'm saying? I would hug you, but we ain't doing all that. Can you pick a porn star of the week for me?
Of the week? I'm not into porn like that. Meaning like my favorite.
Like who's your go-to? Do you have a go-to girl? Everybody has that one girl. I don't give a fuck. Everybody.
I like Jane Wilde. I like her, and I like
Jane Wilde.
Morgan Lee.
Morgan Lee. I'm not familiar with.
She's an Asian girl who I'm actually homies with in real life. I won't reveal her real name, but
that's the porn star. We doing two.
Oh, it's only supposed to be one.
No. We doing fucking two because Johnny Shife says so. We putting both of them up there.
And Jane is just cool people. She's a homie. We've sent her Smokers Club gear before and shit, but she's fly.
You didn't know these people? Wow.
Yeah.
You don't know either of them?
He fucked me up.
That's what's up. Maybe I'm like a pervert on the low, huh?
Nah, he fucked me up.
This guy's next. Like, he got an accountant, bro.
Yeah, I don't have an account or any shit.
Like,
you don't have no shit like that. Like, I'm trying to really like.
I've never been on an OnlyFans ever in my life.
Have you been on that? Did you check that out ever?
Mind your business. Mind your business.
I'm not even saying there's anything wrong with that. I wouldn't buy porn. There's porn free on the internet.
It's deeper.
What's deeper?
All right, people pay for what they want, and that's the end of that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So what does like the porn is better paid for?
Nah, sometimes, it's about the timing. Because sometimes you want to
lost
feel
me
in the
there.
moment.
No, I don't.
You want to
elaborate.
No. You want to feel in the moment. So like an OnlyFans will be like a now thing.
Right.
Like she's doing this now.
Right.
So maybe that'll
Like
play
in
with
your head. That'll
play with your psyche a little bit more. You know, like it's more for you. It's more intimate.
Okay. Is OnlyFans really personalized for you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a they go live.
Uh-huh.
So it's like a live thing, and they shout you out, you can interact with them. Whatever.
I know with that, bro?
No, I don't have the OnlyFans.
Yeah, you know a lot about that because you put me on. You gave a lot of knowledge with that.
He has an OnlyFans premium account.
Yeah.
Yo.
But they got different prices though.
You really are slime.
They got different prices though. Now you know what it is. I love women. I love looking at women, and I love all types.
He's really trying to spin this a different way.
No. You're
pro women. We know. You love.
Man.
You love Kamala Harris. We know.
Oh man, it was episode we did.
No, we're not.
It was. Oh, we ain't even gonna get to that. It was because man, clean it there. You right. Yeah, you love women. You better clean that motherfucker up.
Yeah, I love women, man.
But
thank you, Johnny.
In closing, bro, I love you. Thank you for doing this.
Man.
You know what I mean? It was very informative. Like I said, you're one of the greatest fucking humans and greatest fucking moguls.
You're the next one, man.
Not the next one. He's the now.
Yeah, he's the now. He's the now. He's the now. You got the ball. Facts.
You know, always leave a gem before we leave. Ups and downs build character. So build your character. What's that stupid shit that you say?
Curls for the girls, waves for the babes, knots for the hood rats. Show Broadway, ho. You already know.
I didn't have anything prepared like that. I'm just gonna leave with like the good talk, you prick. I hope you all loved it. That's my slogan to begin with. And donuts.
Smokers Club. Wait.
Smokers Club.
The smokersclub.com.
Now.
Right, for your high fashion. You guys know that. And then make sure you hit Marathon. Make sure you hit Cookies Melrose, and we're gonna put a list of all the other shops that's gonna be carrying Smokers Club trees. Right. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Smokers Club trees, go follow that account on Instagram for our latest releases.
Smokers Club Trees.
Smokers Club Trees, and to the billions.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, man.
I get to do that too. Not yet, right?
Couple more years.
Yeah, I'm down.
You're close. You're close.
Thank you. But I get to try to go.
Yep.